In these videos, I'll try and be as measured as I possibly can be from day to day. I don't want to be completely angry about everything every day. I like to have a laugh, I like to have a bit of fun, and that's generally how I like to go about things. Particularly as far as the owners are concerned as well. I try and be as measured as I can. I play the ball rather than the man, so to speak. So I don't automatically think David Sullivan is wrong for everything all the time. I'll give you an example. The Eze transfer. I don't blame Sullivan. I didn't think we needed him. I didn't think we wanted for him. Didn't think we were in for him. And Ngakia. Wasn't that bothered about Ngakia. I didn't really honestly believe Ngakia wanted to stay. I think he'd made up his mind anyway. And I think what would probably help, I didn't think he was necessarily good enough to hold down a first team place. So the Ngakia situation, I think, was different to the Diangana situation. Also, I like to think that I'd try and be reasonable when we didn't furlough our staff, when they were very, very good with their staff, and reassured them and paid them in full. I came on, did a video and said, well done, West Ham. I thought they were excellent, and read out the letter that they'd sent to all their staff. But by the same token, the flip side of that coin, the other cheek of that arse is that when things are done badly, then it has to be called out. And this is absolutely horrendous. I mean, it's not like I've changed. I think they were good owners. How many times have I said I think they're failures. I think their strategy has completely failed. I think they failed at Birmingham City. I think they failed at West Ham United. They have had 25 years in football. They're still stuck 25 years behind, by the way. I think in 25 years, they've had no success and loads of failure with some sprinklings of mediocrity. They're not very good at owning a football club. And I think that is far more damning than just calling them a see you next Tuesday. Basically, you're useless. You're no good at your job. Many people have said for a long, long time that they don't care. They don't care. Well, I'm not defending. I don't think they do care, but they definitely don't care. And with this Diangana shambles, it really is, as it drives it home, I think, to one and all, what a shambles our football club is. Because you look at the sanctioned sale, and I will say the sanctioned sale here, and you think, did nobody at the club actually think, is this a good idea? Should we really be doing this at the moment? Look at our situation with the fans. The Gold, Sullivan, Brady movement is gathering momentum again. Let's not sell our best young player. I think bearing in mind Declan Rice won the Player of the Year, even though he's young, he's an international. Maybe we don't class him as our best young player. He's just probably our best player. Our best young player, Grady Diangana. Should we sign him? Should we sell him? Can we sell Grady Diangana and really, without any sense of irony, emblazon the carpet with the Academy of Football? I mean, surely you can't, can you? Oh, blimey, hold on, I've dropped again. Surely you can't do that. Surely someone has to point it out and say this is an absolutely horrendous idea. Either the board have sanctioned it. Maybe David Moyes thinks it's a good idea. I'm going to work on the assumption that both are true at the moment. But either one, it's just absolutely horrendous. I can barely get my head around it. I've not seen any fallout from social media. Yesterday was a very busy day as my kids had gone back to school. My son started secondary school for the first time, and lots of stuff. I don't need to see social media. I've not seen any websites, not seen anything. And for that reason, I think I'm pleased that I haven't as well, because I don't want my opinion sort of tainted by anybody else's. But I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be in a massive rage about this. I've had a couple of texts off some people as well who clearly aren't happy. Our owners are just useless. They're completely incompetent, and they just don't care. So in answer to my own question, did nobody sit down and think, is this a good idea? Should we be doing this at this time? Should we sell our best young player? Whether it was discussed or whether it wasn't, certainly the thought would have went through people's heads. I'm going with David Sullivan here, all right? Because I don't think David Gold has anything to do with the day-to-day running of the club. I only said a couple of days ago in a video, didn't I, that he spends most of his time in the Ann Summers head office and so on and so forth. Karen Brady has to do with the day-to-day running of the logistics of West Ham, the marketing. She heads up all of the departments. The buying and selling is down to David Sullivan, the dictator of football, as Mike used to like to call him. So this one's on him. So I do think he would have sat down and thought, well, this is a bad idea. This is going to upset some people. I just don't think he cares. I'm going to do it anyway. Because he knows how unpopular he is. I think he feels insulated. I was going to say as a bulletproof coat on, but I don't even think he feels that there's any bullets being fired at him. He's cocooned himself in his mansion. He's managed to cocoon himself inside the stadium because there's been no fans in there. Even when the fans do come back, well, when you go back, you better be very, very grateful that you're one of the chosen few that gets let in. And woe betide anybody that wears the wrong thing or utters. You're not even be able to sing, apparently, when you go in there and stuff like that. So any criticism of the board is going to be stamped out straight away. Might be a protest inside or outside or something like that. Again, I think he's relatively insulated from it. I think he'll have his own way in and out of the stadium with his blacked out windows. I don't think he cares. I think perhaps he's so numb to the fact that the fans don't like him. How can he care? They hated him at Birmingham City. They hated him there. So why should we expect him to step in and say, no, this is not a good idea. Keep your best young player and I'll provide you with the funds to buy whoever you want. Where was the thought process to think, actually, this could turn nasty for me very, very quickly? You need to be doing at this particular point everything you can to get the fans back on side and to get the football team ready for the Premier League season, because when the fixtures start, and our fixtures are worse than most or worse than anyone's, you're going to need every little bit of credit you can. Because actually, if you've got, let me give you an example. Let's say we're losing against Newcastle. Let's say Felipe Anderson's on the wing and he's losing the ball. You're going to get groans of dissatisfaction. Well, you won't, no one's in there, but you know what I mean. People are going to be frustrated. If Grady Diangana's on the wing and he loses the ball, I think, oh, come on, mate, go again. That's a youth academy for you, of course, rather than an expensive signing that hasn't succeeded. That again requires a little bit of foresight to think, no, let's give myself a fighting chance. And then you look at the fact that everybody around you is now starting to strengthen. Even Newcastle, right? Now, Newcastle are a club up for sale. Many, many failed takeover attempts. Mike Ashley doesn't want to be there. He wants to sell, yet it looks like they're about to sign Ryan Fraser. They quite possibly might sign Callum Wilson as well. They're ready to go. I mean, they really are. They had a player running down his contract. It was Matty Longstaff, as I understand. In the end, they got it done. They got him signed up. New 5-year deal. When Newcastle are actually signing players and we're not, you've got to start to worry. And you look at the teams coming up. West Brom, they are not mucking around now. They're going to be our rivals. Leeds, I'd like to say Leeds will be our rivals. If we carry on like this, Leeds won't be our rivals. Leeds will be in mid-table. We'll be treading water down the bottom at best if this carries on. And I think I'm disappointed with this because I was looking forward to this. Anybody that's watched any of these videos know that my front three, you all know what it was, and Grady Diangana was one of those. That's why I was fine with not signing Eze. Why would we need to sign him? I didn't feel we need to. I thought he was a comparable player. Do you know what? I think Eze's gone. What's Eze gone for? 13 million rising to 20 million. It looks like Diangana 12 million rising to 18 million. A similar amount of money. We didn't need Eze. That's why I was fine with it. Because Diangana's one of our own. He don't need any time to settle. We don't have to settle into West Ham. He's a West Ham boy. All he needed was I joked, didn't I? I said all he needed was a little cuddle. Say, no, you're valued, you're wanted, you're needed round here. Made to feel a part of things, which I thought he was getting in the warm-up. If you remember yesterday's video, what did I say in yesterday before I knew any of this? Sorry, it was just this, wasn't it? Before I knew any of this, because I recorded him the night before, I said I have an inkling that David Moyes is starting the season with Fornals on the left wing. I just wasn't convinced that David Moyes really had bought into the whole Diangana thing. People need to be managed differently, right? Everybody's different. Doesn't matter, football or whatever. I just felt that Diangana needed to be brought back in and to be told, you've done a great job there, mate. You basically, West Brom got promoted because of you. I've got other players, Pereira and whatnot, but he should have been told that. You're in. We're going to give you every single chance. And let's be fair, pretty much everybody else who's played in his position has failed on that left wing. The only person that hasn't failed is Fornals, but Fornals should be playing there anyway because Fornals should be playing centrally. Fornals only playing on the left wing because everyone else failed, right? Get him in. Make him feel wanted. Make him feel loved. But then we go and sell him. And West Brom, as I said, will be our rivals now. To another Premier League team. And I sort of get the impression that he's happy to be there. And what does this do to the squad, by the way? So imagine this. Diangana's either not gone into training, in which case all the squad are saying, where's Grady? Or he's gone into training and whilst he was at training, the news has broken, or he's spoken to people there. Whatever's happened, Diangana would have felt like a new player at that training ground this season. Would have felt, even though we've not made a sign, not signed him, it would have felt like we had a new player there. Players would have been buoyed by, Sebastian Haller seemed happy about it, for instance, right? But now everyone's thinking, hold on, well, he's going. What message does that send out to the rest of our squad? That we are willing to sell our best young player. Because I reckon all the other clubs are looking at West Ham, they're either licking their lips, they're rubbing their hands, or they're laughing. They're absolutely laughing at how incompetent and how useless the club is. How poorly run it is. Somebody the other day was talking about a takeover. I tell you what, Trip Smith must be wondering what on earth he did. Whoever gave Trip Smith the little tip off and said, you want to get invested in this place, he must be thinking, oh, how do I get my 10 million back? Because this is an absolute nightmare. This is a terrible, terrible situation for West Ham. I don't know quite where we go from this. I guess, we'd be eating some humble pie if in the next couple of days we sign a player or two players, and they're very good players. I mean, it may soften the blow. Let's say, for instance, we sign Ben Rama and Ollie Watkins. That may soften the blow. We might think, okay, well, that's why this was done, and we start the season well. But there's a lot of ands there. There's a lot of ifs. There's a lot of buts. But I'll give you some more ifs and buts. What about if in 5 days' time, 7 days' time, we've not signed any players? Because what's happened is, by doing this, the board have almost changed the concept of time. Whereas we might have had a little bit more patience. Yes, we knew we needed to bring some fullbacks in. We need to do this, that, and the other. But actually, we probably would have felt, we've got a couple of weeks. We've got a couple of weeks before the season starts and all the rest of it. Those couple of weeks now turn to the urgency. We need to do something tomorrow, today. Where's our player? We basically, you better do it really, really quickly. And this player better be excellent. This player better be so good that it was worth losing Grady Diangana over. But that ain't going to happen, is it? I said to you yesterday, not that I knew that Diangana was getting sold. I'm not going to claim that. But I said I've got a strong feeling that we will start the season against the game against Newcastle with the same team that we finished against Aston Villa. It might not even be that good because of Declan Rice. And I tell you something else, by the way. What does this do for the Declan Rice situation? What does this do for Declan Rice's mindset? Who's come through the academy. Have I got it right? Is Declan Rice the same age as Diangana? Are they both 21, 22? I think they are. If they are, well, even if there's just a year difference, they would have come through. What did Declan Rice turned up at West Ham at 14, I believe? That means Declan Rice has played with Grady Diangana 14s, 15s, 16s, 17s, blah, blah, blah. Under 23s, the lots, right? Under 18s, all of it. So this is his mate. Well, are they best mates? I don't know, but this is someone he's seen come through the system. Declan Rice would have been delighted when Grady Diangana broke into the team. But, hey, I know this guy. This guy's been with me from ever since. Excuse me. What's that say to Declan Rice? If Declan Rice was a little bit sat on the fence, then I would imagine he's probably thinking, this is crap, mate. This is crap. I'm getting out of here. This is no good. But I tell you what else it does. What message does it send to anybody else that might be fancying buying Declan Rice? When the board say, oh, he's not available for less than 80 million or whatever they say privately. I bet all the other clubs are thinking, yeah, right. Look what you just sold Diangana for. We're coming in with 40 million. We're going to test your resolve for Declan Rice. And it only takes for that bid to come in and Declan Rice saying, you know what, I fancy going. And then it's done. And it's over. And what sort of, as I say, I'm working under the assumption that David Moyes doesn't want Diangana. But imagine if David Moyes did want Diangana. That's the nuclear scenario here. That David Moyes did want Diangana, and David Sullivan said, nah, he's got to go. I understand that we're skint. I would understand that everybody was skint. But other teams seem to be able to make things happen. I don't think that that Mike Ashley is chucking a load of money at Steve Bruce. Clearly, he wants out. But obviously, he's leaving him enough wriggle room to make some signings. Because Mike Ashley is shrewd and intelligent enough to know this ain't a £300 million asset if we're in the Championship. And he should know, Mike Ashley, he's taken them down there once and come back up. Like our mob have done. So he's allowing Bruce to make some manoeuvres. Swap his squad around a bit. But bring some players in. And after he's done his manoeuvres, his squad will be stronger than when he started the transfer window. Ours is getting weaker. Our squad is getting weaker and weaker all the time. And unless there is some massive surprise, which will be a new striker, a new winger to take Diangana's place, and new fullbacks as well, and the centre-back, unless that happens, we're in very, very dangerous times because the mood of the club has changed, the mood of the fans has changed, and the ownership do not seem to care. The barricades are up. They do not care. And I'll tell you something else. Sorry, so how many times have I said I'll tell you something else? I've not renewed yet because I forgot. Sorry, Tone, but Tone's watching this saying, oh, hold on, you said you'd renew. And that may well be the only reason that I do renew, possibly, will be because Tony already has. I don't want him to sit on his own. But I'll tell you, it's up in the air. It's really up in the air. I hadn't got round to it. Things have happened. The kids are going back to school. Work's changed. All the rest of it. In my life, it hasn't been a conscious decision that I thought I'm going to show the board. But I tell you what, I think I've only got a matter of a few days. I've got a decision to make. I really do have a decision to make because at the moment I've got the feeling that I'm done with it. I don't know how many videos that we've done on Emma's chat over the years. We might have done 2,000-3,000 videos, something like that. I don't think I've uttered that sentence before. I really don't. But I am. If I'm feeling like that, everybody's feeling like that. I don't even need to tune into social media or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure you lot are going to tell me in the comments underneath what you lot are thinking. In fact, when I finish recording this, I'm going to go and look at Gio's video and see what the comments are like on that one. But this is absolutely terrible. And what this does is it's so deflating. It's so depressing. It absolutely sucks the life out of you. It's so demotivating. So you've got a demotivated fan base, possibly a load of demotivated players. The players can be lifted, by the way, but only by new signings coming in. Because at the moment, the players will be looking at West Ham and thinking, this is a club on a downward spiral. Any good momentum, any good will, any good feeling that might have been around the club by staying up and by the signings of Bowen and Souček has now been undone. This coaching staff are going to have to work really hard. People like Stuart Pearce and people like Kevin Nolan. I mention those two because they're sort of characters. They joke and they give you a lift and they're strong characters. They've got a hell of a job to do now to persuade the players that actually we are a club going forward, that we do have a realistic strategy for the season. And and that we are no weaker for Diangana, because I tell you what, you've all seen the skills that Diangana's got, the tricks, the flicks, the shooting, the crossing, all that stuff. We see that. They're going to see that on a daily basis in training. I bet he's taking players on for fun. I bet he's doing all the Rabonas and the pirouettes and the nutmegs. I bet he's doing all that in training all the time. And I bet when he does, everyone's, buzzing about it. He won't be the only one that does that. But that player's gone now. Or even if he's not, maybe he turns up for training tomorrow, because maybe the deal takes 2 or 3 days to go through and Diangana's in with saying goodbye, packing his locker, or whatever the case may be. That is a bad thing for the atmosphere in the club, whichever way it is. As I say, I just think it lacks. I'm done. I am done. I've been done with the owners for some time, as you all know. But I feel really quite done with West Ham at the moment, I've got to say. And I spoke to Gio on the phone as well, and he said one of the few things he was looking forward to this season was Diangana, and I totally agree. That's why every time I've done a starting 11 for the start of next season, Diangana's been in there on the left. I was really looking forward to him. It was only really whoever Haller and Antonio was playing in the middle. I had Antonio to start there, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. Maybe I'm wrong. I said I don't know what to say. I've been talking for 21 minutes, but maybe they're going to blow us away in the next 2 days and say, look, we had to sign him. Here's our strategy. As I say, here's basically the whole left side of Brentford and their striker, or something like that. Here you go. We've recouped that money, but here we go. We're going to spend 35 million. I think if they did that, they might gain some positivity towards the start of the season. But what they won't do, and what they won't undo, is the pledge they made very, very early on when they started in there. And that was that no longer will West Ham sell their best young talent. No longer will West Ham sell their best players. Well, I tell you what, it's quite the opposite. It's exactly what we do. We sold Payet, sold Arnautovic, we've just sold Grady and Ghana, and you just know that Declan Rice has got a for sale sign stuck right slap bang in front of his house.